So my cursor is blinking here. So sorry, cursor is blinking here. So I'll again perhaps just press an up arrow or control P. So again this previous command will come and my cursor is blinking here. I just press a question mark. So likewise I can set the day, date and month, right? I said 4th of August. So when I press 8 enter, my cursor comes here, but it shows a caret marker here and this it says man. This 8 is not understood, right? Invalid input detected at the caret marker, caret. So then again I can press up arrow. This same things will come here. I'll go backspace and remove 8. Instead of 8, I'll just type August. Enter. When I press enter here, my cursor comes here down below and it says incomplete. So then up till this point, which is correct, but I need to add something more. So I'll again press up arrow and my cursor blinks here. So I just press a question mark and now it's asking me to put the year also. Okay. So this is how we take help from the iOS, right? Question mark means it says it's known as command prompting. Okay, tell me what next should I give? Something like this, right? Syntax checking, it calls this as syntax checking, but that means check this 8. It's not supporting that 8. So we have to give August instead of 8 month, right? Something like this, okay? And then enhance editing commands, right? So supposing if I'm typing this Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, right? Something like this. So what happens is I start here and shape the future of internet networking by creating unprecedented. So when I start typing, there's a limitation to the number of vertical right lines of whatever. So this dollar value automatically comes in. And when I keep typing, go ahead, value for customers, employees, and partners. So the end will is shown here, right? But that means there's something before this also which is not visible here, right? Because the sentence is too long. So if I want to go to the beginning of the line, I will look at my keyboard and press the left arrow key. I will keep on pressing it, right? So what will happen? The cursor will keep going left, right? It will keep going left till, so I keep it pressed. So then it will come here and stop here, right? If I want to go to the end of the line, I'll keep on pressing the right key. So what will happen? Cursor will keep on going right, right? And when this ends, it will start here and it will still keep going to the right, right? And it will stop here. Instead of that, shortcuts. If my cursor is here in the end, if I press Control A, it will take me to the beginning of the line straight away here. If I want to go to the end, I will press Control E. It will straight away come here, right? So A moves to the beginning of the line. Control E moves to the end of the line. Okay. Then we have Escape B, Escape F, and we have Control B, Control F. B for backward, F for forward, right? Now, if I look, I am sitting with my laptop on my table and Control key is nearer me, right? And escape is a bit, I have to stretch my hand a little bit more to reach escape. Which one is nearer? Control. Okay. So to reach control, I have to make less effort. I'm trying to make myself understand, right? To reach escape key, I have to make a little more effort. So control is nearer. So less effort. Okay. So control B and control F means just move back and forward just one character. But escape B and escape F, you also move one full word either forward or backward. So more effort, right? Control if control B means control B means just one character behind. So if my cursor is here, I will come here, right? But if I press escape B, I'll get to the beginning of the word. Right? Control B is if I have my cursor is here, I'll come here, one step back, right? But escape B means my cursor will come to the beginning of the word. Okay. Likewise, control B and F. one character backward or forward, and escape B of B or F means one full word either forward or backward. If you press Control W, entire line will be deleted, right? Control W. Okay. Control D. So if my cursor is here to the right of the dot, full stop, if I press backspace, this full stop will go away, correct? But if I go under the full stop and press Control D, right, the above character full stop or dot will go away. Got it? If I if my cursor is here on partners A here, if I press Control D, that A will go away. Got it? Okay. So all these are keyboard shortcuts. Control A, Control E, Escape B, Escape F, Control B, Control F, Control D, whatever. And up arrow and down arrow. Right? So what happens is, if I am at the user mode, if I type enable, let's say I come to the privilege mode, even if it asks for a password, it will not save that. And then I type configure terminal, then I come at the global mode. Let's say this is the router's default name is router only. I'm not routing everywhere router. I'm not writing router. And now if I say hostname R1, now my router's name will change from the default router to R1, right? Now if I type interface gigabit 0, I'll come under the interface mode and I can say no shut or no shutdown. And then I either IP address before or no shut later, whatever. IP address, if I give this, it will take it, right? Whatever subnet mask. But now if I am again at the interface mode, if I just press up arrow, again this same line will come here, isn't it? So if I want to change it from 10 on 1, I can go backspace, backspace, backspace here and just make this as 2. That's it, enter. So it will rewrite, right? So my new address will be 10.1.2. I don't have to write the whole thing. Got it? So these all save help indirectly, right? Control. So now if I keep on pressing here up arrow, what will happen? First up arrow means this command will come. Again, once more up arrow means this command will come. Again, once more up arrow means this command will come here, right? Again, up arrow means hostname R1 will come here. Got it? Again, up arrow means config T will come here. Again, up arrow means enable will come here. Again, up arrow, nothing goes up. So I come down. So it's enable here. If I press down arrow again, config T will come here, right? Again, if I press go down, host name R1 will come here, right? Likewise. You get the point, everybody? Understand? Likewise, down arrow, interface gigabit 00. Again, down arrow, no shut. Again, down arrow, this IP address. Okay. So up arrow, previous commands or control P. P stands for previous. And down arrow or control N for the next commands. ठीक है? All okay? Show history will tell you what all commands you have given. It will store 10 lines, 10 commands, right? By default. You can increase or decrease the size of this buffer. Okay. So if you go and type from the privilege mode, maybe history size 5. Or history size 50. So instead of 10 commands in 10 lines, it will start storing now 50 commands in 50 lines. Got it? So you can increase or decrease the size of the buffer. So it by default is how much? Default it stores 10 commands in 10 lines, right? So, but if you say terminal history size 7, so as long as you are inside this session, it will start saving only now 7 commands. Once you say exit, exit, exit and go out of the console session, then again, when you come in, it will store whatever you had said, maybe 50 permanently. Or if you had not said this, then by default again, 10 lines. Is this clear, guys, everybody? Now, show run means running config. right? All the commands that you gave or came from the factory, everything. Show start means if you have said copy run start or WR, then it will be a Xerox copy, all the same commands, right? Show start means all the content saved in the NVRAM, startup config. This is running config. This is startup config. This is also known as current active configurations. This is also known as saved configurations. Okay. So routing table, router store in the RAM only. Or if it's a layer 3 switch, then routing table as well as MAC address table also it will store in the RAM. All the tables, app table, it will store here only. Right? All your commands will also be stored here. iOS is stored in the flash. Okay. Show run we know, show start we know, right? When normally we take a brand new router or when we are in the factory defaults, when it boots up, it comes in the setup mode, right? So if you say yes, configuration dialog box, yes, yes, or would you like to enter setup mode, yes or no? So if we say yes, that will give some instructions and ask us to give the host name and some commands, right? It will ask some questions and we'll give the answers. So that means we are setting up the router. And whatever you're typing is being saved here only, right? After that, remember 0, 1, 2. 2 means save and exit. If you press enter, it will save here also. Now, nothing to worry, right? Even if power goes up and it's our institute or lab router, all your commands will be stored, saved, right? When you boot up next time. Okay. RAM, show run. We know this, right? This is the current active configuration. Current active configuration. And in the NVRAM, if you say show start, this gives you a hint that this is the main memory, right? Using these many out of those many bytes. So this is known as a saved configuration. Okay. The startup of a Cisco router requires that you verify the physical installation, power up the router, and view the Cisco as software output on the console. The router startup sequence is similar to the startup sequence of a catalyst switch. The router first performs post, then it finds and loads the iOS image, and finally, it finds and loads the device config files, right? Use the enable command to access the privileged exec mode from the user exec mode. Okay, we know this. The Cisco router uses Cisco AI software with extensive command and input help facilities. Question mark. Caret, right? Up arrow, down arrow, or control P. All this is help, including context sensitive help is question mark. Cisco AI CLI includes an enhanced editing mode that provides a set of editing key functions. Control A, Control E, isn't it? Escape B, Escape F, Control B, Control F, Control D, whatever. Cisco Router CLI provides a history. You can give a command show history or record of commands you have entered. This feature called the command history is particularly useful to help you recall long or complex commands or entries. Okay. After logging into a Cisco router, you can verify the router initial startup status using the router status commands like show version, show run, show start, show IP interface brief, right? Or show interfaces or a particular port, show interface, gigabit, zero, oblique, whatever, right? So many commands. We'll look at this. Show protocol, show IP protocol, show IP route later on. We are done with chapter 6. Yes, we move on to chapter 7. Now, this also you know. I'm just brushing it up, right? Configuring a router, we know. So, upon completing this lesson, we'll be able to use the CLI to interact with the Cisco software given operation router, verify the default configuration of the device given a functioning router, complete the initial device configuration given a functioning router. We have done all these things, host name, configure IP addresses and IP subnet mask on router interfaces given a functioning router. We have done this also, right? So we know this user mode, enable command, right? It will take us to the privilege mode. How does it look like? Hash. We give a command configure terminal, we come to the global mode. right? How does it look like? From here, if you type exit, you'll come back to privilege mode. From here, if you type exit, you will be out. Router, console 0 now available. Press enter to get started, all those things. But if you press here disable, you'll come back to user mode. Okay. From here, if you press Control Z also instead of exit, then also you will land up here only. Or even if you type end here, any of the three, you will just come here. Okay. At the privilege mode. From the global mode, you can go to any mode. Interface mode or so if you type here interface gigabit 0 oblique 0 oblique 0, so you'll come at the interface mode, right? Sub interface also we can go, which I will explain later on. So if you type gigabit interface gigabit 000 dot some number, let's say 1, then we'll come at the sub interface mode. But don't worry about it right now. I'll explain that later. Somewhere in some lab, we'll going at sub interface mode also, which is as good as a physical port, but it's actually a logical port, software only port, right? But from routing point of view, it is as good as a physical port. So don't worry, when we get there, we'll do some lab and I'll explain it there. So from the global mode, you can jump to interface mode, or you can directly jump to sub interface mode. Or if you type a command from the global mode, controller something something, which we don't have in our course, will come to the controller mode. So out of syllabus. From here, if you type line something something, so we'll come at the line mode, like line console 0 or line AUX 0 or line VTY04. We have done this. So then we come here and say password and down below login. Or if you type from the global mode, router something something, say if, for example, router RIP or router OSPF, blah, blah, then we'll come at the router mode. We'll go there later on. So there are different modes, right? But you have to come in the sequence. Okay. But from here, you can jump anywhere directly. If you want, you can jump at the router mode also. Now we know how to save commands. From the privilege mode, we say copy, run, start. Even that much is enough. Or just WR, right? From other modes beyond this, global mode, interface mode, router mode, you have to say do WR or do copy, run, start. Okay. So we know that it will now save from RAM to NVRAM. All of us are very clear on all these things and comfortable. Yes or no? Copies the current active configurations to NVRAM. Do we know how to change the hostname or give hostname? Default name is router. You want to change the hostname, you can make it. Somebody has said here work group router C. I would have said R1, right? Whatever. Message of the day. Have you done the banners? Banner MTD, some symbol, and write some message and end with that same symbol. Okay. Likewise, under interface, you can go and just give a description. This is just a simple English description word. And after this, what you say is up to you. Maybe MPLS VPN connection to ISP, right? Whatever. Or uh, Delhi LAN, if it's going in the LAN, right? If it's going towards the ISP, you can say maybe MPLS VPN connection to the ISP or whatever, right? Point-to-point connection to the ISP, whatever. Okay. We know this line console 0, password first and login. It depends on the OS, right? And then we also know how to set the password for telnet. Line VTY04, password, CCNA, PCNA, whatever, and then login. Likewise, enable password old one and enable secret. Both cannot be same. When it saves this is in the RAM, it saves in clear text. So this is better, right? It's when it saves it, it doesn't save it in the clear text. It saves in the hash or encrypted. So, but if both are there, whenever from the user mode, it will ask for a password. We know we have to give only the secret one, right? And then if you want to disable any command, you can just go on that global mode and say no host name. That's it. So R1 will again come back to default router name. Got it? Or login, no login. Enable secret, no enable secret. Enable password, no enable password. You don't have to type here what it was, right? Only this much. Line console 0. Okay, this we have done. exit timeout 00, right? So prevent session console timeout and line console 0 logging synchronous. Redisplays interrupted console input, right? Then interface. In the olden days, it was just interface Ethernet 0 or Ethernet 1 like this, right? Then later on, as per the our routers model kept on changing. It was like maybe interface, Ethernet or fast Ethernet, whatever, 0 oblique 0. And now we see that we have gigabit 0 oblique 0 oblique 0 or gigabit 0 oblique 0 oblique 1 and all those things, right? So it's just a way of configuring it. Slot ports. Exit means you'll go back one step to the global mode. But if you type Control Z here, you'll straight away go two steps back to the privilege mode. Even end will take you directly two steps back, directly to the privilege mode, right? Only exit will take you back to the global mode. Okay. So we know all these commands now. Configure. Okay, we don't have serial ports now, right? Ignore this. We don't have this. So ignore serial ports. No IP domain lookup. We have done this. So here only in the lab, right? We are disabling it. In the real company, we never disable this service, right? Domain lookup. That's DNS. And we have done this service password encryption. And this is gone, very old. It was referring to a connector, right? Ignore it. Serial port again, gone. We are not using it. Shutdown any port. So let's say this is gigabit 00. If you say shutdown, that means you are administratively disabling the port, right? Show IP interface brief, it will be AD and D, right? But this is how it comes from the factory. So we got to enable it. So we go under whatever that port is and say no shut, or the full command is shut down. Then physical layer has come up and data link layer line protocol is data has also come up, right? Now communication can happen, right? Whatever this port is. Enables an interface that was administratively shut down and administrator turns off an interface. Now, this is where I wanted to take you after we had done eye pressing. So, yes, guys, Deepthi, Megha, and Neeraj, all okay till this point? Now let's begin with eye pressing again. Revise it. ठीक है? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good, thanks.
Yes,
So
sure.
now, good, thank you. So now look, maybe this is India, maybe this is Australia, right? So look at the cloud behind, and maybe in the olden days we had these serial ports. So they are electric. This is a very old slide, right? But today you will have a direct connection like this. Of course, symbolically, we'll have a cloud. This can be India, this can be Australia, right? But logically, right? So, but here in the lab, we just have direct connections only. Okay, so look, India and Australia, we had in the olden days leased line configured, right? Or frameless virtual circuits, frameless configured. So, but look at this. Look at the IP addresses. Both are from the same network or subnet. See that? 10.18.01, 10.18.02. Get it? This could be India, this could be Japan. We have one more lease line going. So we have two different ports here, right? And two different lines going to the ISP, of course, right? Like this. But this is our branch. So we have a connection like logical connection, serial point to point, or maybe a frameless virtual circuit, another. So, but look at them. IP address is the same subnet. Yes, 172.16.01, 172.16.02. Look at this. Again, this could be another country, this could be another country, right? Whatever. Or we said Australia. So we have from Australia to maybe Japan also here, right? So look at this, both of them are in the same subnet, correct? But this LAN is something else, right? This is private. This LAN is also private. Of course, here this may be private, right? These may be private. 172.16 to 172.31, which means what? These are also private. But this is only an example. In the real life, these will be public, these will be public, and these will be public. Okay. Whatever, but they are in the same subnets. And this one is totally different network, and this is also totally different network. Okay. So unique addressing allows communication between end stations. Okay. Path choice is based on destination address. Okay. Now, supposing if you have configured RIP routing protocol on all the three, what will happen? Let's say this is R1. Let's say this is R2 router. Let's say this is R3. So this router, of course, we don't have RIP, but the protocols behave similarly. I'm just making it simple. Later on, we'll actually get into OSPF, which is again a dynamic routing protocol only like RIP, right? And we'll see how that exactly functions. This is only an overview. So this router R3 will tell, okay, I got RIP. Its metric is hop counts, right? Hop counts, which means what? R1. 10 dot, 20 dot. Let's say it has got two paths, R2. Okay, and you have configured RIP on all the routers. So this router is going to tell this router, hello, I got a network 20, something like this. I go there in 0 hop because directly connected. You go there in 1 hop. This router will tell him, hello, if you get a packet for 20 dot something something, send it to me. I go there in 1 hop. So this router will say, okay, you go in 1 hop, so I'll go in 2 hops, right? How many other routers have to jump and go? Two. So this router will tell this router, hello, I can send a packet to 20 network. If you get a packet, right, for 20 network, send it to me. I go there in 2 hops. So this guy says, okay, you go there in 2 hops, so I'll have to go there in 3 hops. I don't count my outgoing port. How many other routers do I have to jump? Three. So then this router will inform this router, hello, if you get a packet for 20 something, send it to me. I reach there in 3 hops. So Arun says, okay, you reached there in 3 hops. So if I get the packet for 20 dot and if I go through you, I'll go there in 4 hops. Okay. Okay. This router also tells this router, hello, if you get a packet for 20, send it to me. I go in 0 hop because directly connected. So this guy says, okay. So I will go through in 1 hop, right? So this router will inform this router, hello, if you get a packet for 20, send it to me. I go there in 1 hop. So router 1 says, okay, you go there in 1 hop. So if I go through you to 20 network, I'll go there in 2 hops, right? So now this is the way they work. So now if R1 gets a packet, from there it is 4 hops, it is 2 hops. So it will send like this. If this link dies, then it will send like this, okay, automatically. So RIP, what is the metric of RIP? That means on what basis does it decide which path to take? It is hop count. Of course, this is not in your course, don't worry. But we are not getting into details. So this guy is going to tell this guy, hello, 192.168.1 dot. I go in 0 hop, so 1 hop. And this guy is also going to tell this guy, hello, I read there in 0 hop. So he says, okay, if I get a packet, I'll go there in 1 hop, 192. And then he will inform this guy, hello, for me 1 hop. So this guy says, okay, if I get a packet and if I send it to you, I'll read there in 2 hops, right? This is 1 hop, so 2 hop, obviously. So if a packet comes from the left for 192.168 on R2, it will send like this. If this link dies, it will then send like this. Okay. So something like this. Okay. Okay. So that's all routing, right? Don't worry. But we know what IP addressing is. Okay. Now tell me one thing, guys. This interface and this interface, are they in same network? Is the IP address same networks? Or is it totally different networks? Or is it different subnets, obviously, which belong to one network? One network, different subnets. Which case is this guy? This one and this one. Is it same network or totally different network or different subnets? Yes,
Sir, it is a different network.
correct. It's a different network, right? Yes, guys, everybody agree? Neeraj, you answered, right? We're the only one here. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
the boys. So because this is a class B, so what do you look? First two octets, right? So they are totally different. So they are totally different networks. Got it? Had it been different subnets, then both of them would have been 172 1818, or both of them would have been 172 1616. Understood? And then obviously /24, third octet could have been 1 and here it could have been 2, maybe just, right? Something like this. समझ में आ रहा है दोस्तों, everybody? Understanding? Yes or no? Understood? So one router's different interfaces must be in different networks, or they must be in different subnets. Got it? But opposite ones, they have to be in the same network or subnet. ठीक है? Now we know everything is 32 bits and it comprises of two portions, network portion and host portion. Of course, you can have subnet portion also if you have done subnetting. Maximum we can go only up to. Why? Because 8 bits, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every bit has a place value, decimal value, 2 raised to power 0. We know this, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 raised to power 7. So 2 raised to power 0 is 1, 2. This is how we derived our Bible, right? Keep on doubling, 16, 32, 64, and 120. If you add all of them, total will be 255. Right? And 255 decimal, if you convert that in binary, we know what it will be. All ones. Okay? I believe nobody has got issues with all these things, basics. Can you convert a decimal into binary? Or can you convert a binary into decimal? Yes, we can. Yes or no, everybody? Dipti, Megha, and Neeraj. We can.
Yes,
Eh,
sir, we can.
Anybody having problems with this? Anybody? Nobody? Yes or no? You should be able to do this now, right? Just convert any decimal from 0 to up to 255, of course, right? Into a binary or binary into a decimal. Now, we have class A and class B and class C and class D and of course class E also. But we only use A, B, and C. We never use class D. What's the range of class A? 1 to 126, right? Aditya is missing today. He was still not able to memorize this, right? And he is still, I don't know whether, I think for a long time he had not even downloaded the software. I hope Dipti, Megha, and Neeraj, you guys are already working on the packet tracer, doing the labs, right?
Yes,
Comfortable
yes,
with,
I'm
yeah.
good.
Great, thanks. So 1 to 126 and 128 to 191. 127, we know the PC automatically generates for a loopback, which is used for testing only. 128 to 191 and 192 to 223 and 224 to 239. And class E is 240 to 255. This is used for multicasting and class E is used for research and development, right? So we don't use this. But if you take any class A IP address and convert in binary, first bit will always be 0, right? And in class A, you have first octet in the network portion and 3 octets in the host portion. Class B, you have 2 octets in the network portion, 2 octets in the host portion. Similarly, class C, 3 octets in the network portion and 1 octet in the host portion, right? So now if you take any class A IP address and convert in binary, first bit will be 0. Likewise for class B, first two bits will be 1, 0. We don't have to do anything, just know this. Likewise, class C, 1, 1, 0. So first three bits will be 1, 1, 0. And class D, first four bits will be 1, 1, 1, 0 only, right? So they are reserved. We don't have to do anything, don't worry. Now here we have a switch and we have multiple devices connected. Similarly, obviously, we have a switch and we have multiple devices connected. So this is old slide, Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1. So we have 10, 6 to 24, 2 given here. And 10, 16 to 1 given here, right? This is a class A, this is class B. If you go on this router and give a command show IP route or route, you will get this thing connected. Of course, you have LL also, but in the olden days, that CL was not there. I'll show you later on again that, right? Look, exact interface IP address and what subnet it is, right? Like this. Okay. So by looking at this only, I can tell. Okay, they have given a default subnet mask /8 here, 255.000. Everybody. Okay, 255.000 here. IP address 10.6.24.2 and 255.000. /8. So it's only showing you this. Had somebody given /16, that means 255.255.0.0. Here it would have been 10.6.0.0. Understand? The numbers will filter as it is. Had somebody given here /24, that means 222.550. Here it would have been 10.6.24.0. Understand? Yes. Likewise, here this address has been given 172.16.2.1. But because it's a class B, I think they are using a default subnet mask 255.255.0.0. So here's telling you only 172.16.0.0. Had somebody given this address but /24 instead of this, then 172.16.2 dot. Here it would have been 172.16.2.0. Got it? And of course, nobody will give here all 255, which means /32. If by mistake somebody gives, it will show as 2.1, same address. But then that's not possible. That is not correct, right? But anyway. So, so this is a class B. So it says Cisco is telling us, okay, the first two octets come in the network portion, and here because it's a default subnet mask, that these two right octets come in the host portion. Fine. So we know this guy comes in the network portion and these come in the host portion because of default subnet mask. Okay, connected, connected. Without subnet means default subnet mask, right? So you can have one router and you can have multiple switches like this, and it's a class B. So 2 raised to power 16 minus 2 host portion, 16 zeros, 65,536 minus 2, 534. These many usable host IP addresses you can give. So if you do this Boolean adding, 172.16.0.0 will be the network IP address. You can't use this. 172.16.255.25 will be the broadcast. You can't use this. First will be, last will be. Yes, one last here. Same here, same here, same here, same here, same here, same here, one more. That's it. So in between will be the range. Got it? So 172.16.0.1.0.2 like this. Keep on going till 255.254. You can't use 255.255. You can't use 00. Yeah, all okay? So now with subnets. So when you have a layer 3 device, that means a router in between. So different ports will be different network or subnets. So 172.16.0.0/16, one network, no subnets. If you break this into, let's say, 24, so I borrowed 8 bits, 2 raised to power 8. So I'll have now 254 subnets. Got it? Sorry, 256 subnets rather. So which is the interesting octet? 255.255.255.0. This one. How much is delta? Only one. So first subnet will be 172.16.0.0. But all of them are 24. Second will be 172.16.1.0/24. Third will be 172.16.2.0/24. Next will be 172.16.3.0. Likewise, last will be 172.16.255.0/24. 255 and 0 subnet is equal to 256 subnets. Hmm? So here they have not used the first one. They have started with the 1.16.1.0. You can't use this. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 like this. 172.16.1.254. You can't use 255 to 1.255. Correct? So you'll get 254. Likewise, here also, you can't use this. So 172.16.2.1 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, likewise 2.254. You can't use 176 2.255 broadcast. 254 here. Then 3.1, 3.2, 3. Likewise. Then here, in between 4.1 and 4.254, you can use any two, right? 4.100, 4.200 will also do, as long as both are in the same subnet. But now, in the olden days, Cisco said, don't use the first subnet and the last subnet, or subnet 0 and the broadcast subnet. But now, we can use all of them. Why? Because in the olden days, in the iOS version, no IP subnet 0, this command used to come. So Cisco made changes in the iOS, and now it is IP subnet 0. So now you can use this as well as this one. So now we will give here 172.16.0.0/24. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, right? Likewise, 0.254 up to that instead of 1 dot. And then you can use something else 1 also. Got it? Okay. So now here we have 2.0 and 3.0, these subnets. So from here we can use 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, right? But you can't have same addresses to two devices in the same network. No, it's not possible. Got it? It won't take it. So 3.1 to 3.254 you give here. And here also, you can't have this address given to the interface as well as to the end user. No. Right? So 2.1, 2.2, you can go up to 254, 2.254. Right? Assuming these are all /24. Right? Because of this. I know it is /24. Correct? So it says, okay, first two octets, class B, network portion. Third one has gone in the subnet portion, and this obviously is in the host portion. We know what is 222.550 for class B, right? Now, so we have been given an IP address and a subnet mask, default subnet mask. So we know this is class B. So first two octets go in the network portion, and host is always off. So the last two octets go in the host portion. Okay. This can also be written as /16. Okay. But we have this IP address. But if we change the subnet mask now from the default to, let's say, the new one, this one. So what happens? Because this is class B, first two octets now go in the network portion as before, but now this one comes in subnet portion, and this one remains in the host portion. Okay, which can also be written as /24. So this is subnet mask. This is, you can call it prefix mask, right? Almost the same things, nothing to worry. Now decimal 0, if you cannot write in binary, we know what it will be. Everybody comfortable with this? 255, all ones. Yeah. 1 bit on and all 7 zeros will be 128. Correct? 2 bits on and all zeros will be 128 plus 64 is 192. 3 bits on will be 224. 4 on, 4 off. Britannia Delight. Ting, ding, ding, ting. 240. My way of remembering, right? 5 bits on, 248. 6 bits on, 254. 7 bits on, 254. Right, sorry, 252, 254, and 8 bits on, 255. Yes, all okay? Yes, guys, everybody. ठीक है? Now,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
okay. Now we have been given an IP address and the subnet mask. So you can do Boolean ending and find out this pillu or child belongs to which network IP address. So this guy belongs to, after you, so we write down all these things in binary and right, but then the Boolean ending, one below the other, write properly, and then this is your network address. Convert this back, same as this, because of 255. Number will filter down. Convert this, it will be 116 only, right? Same as this. So we don't have to do for the first two octets. But anyway, so this child belongs to this network IP address. And then you can find out the first and the last and the broadcast. You can't use this. You can't use this. First to last is the range. Okay. Same things. Now again, we have the same IP address but a different subnet mask. So we know this is class B. So first two octets go in the network portion, 255, fixed. This will go in the subnet portion, right? And this will go in the host portion. So you do Boolean ANDing. Now this guy belongs to this subnet. Earlier, this guy belonged to this network IP address. Now it is subnetted, right? Because it's not default. So from 2.1 to 2.254 you can use. You can't use 2.255 and 2.0, right? So you can do this now with Boolean ANDing or delta also. Okay. Third octet is interesting. Delta is 1. Divide the IP address by delta. 1, 2s are just multiply 1 and 2. That's your subnet IP address. To the left, I'm just going to write down 106. And to the right, I'm going to write close my eyes and put a 0. Right? Likewise, same IP address but a different subnet mask. So now this pillu or child belongs to this subnet. You can do with Boolean ANDing or you can do with delta method. Yes or no? Interesting octet is the last one. Divide the IP address 160 by delta. Delta is 256 minus 192. How much is it? 64. 6 2s are 64 into 2 is 128. That's your subnet IP address. Then you can find out the first. This plus delta 192. So 191 will be my broadcast. 190 will be my last. Total will be 2 is to power 2 is to power 7. No, 2 is to power 6. Sorry. Minus 2. 62 addresses. Yes, guys, everybody understood? Understanding? Yes or no? Nipti, Megha, Neeraj?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
now
sir.
we know, yeah, thanks. Now we know which addresses we cannot give. We cannot give this one to the, and this same subnet mask. We cannot give, it won't take it. Or try giving this one, it won't take it. Right? Same subnet mask. Because subnet on network and broadcast. So likewise. Okay. And then we can give a secondary address also. Supposing we have provision made for boss has said, okay, 50 addresses 1 or 2 years ago. But during the course of time, more and more employees have been added. So we had taken slash 24 and this address 10 or something. So we had only 254 guys, right? Maximum. Correct? Provision for 254. So, but when boss said earlier it was only 50. So I had made a provision for 254. Now, now more employees are coming up and from it's going to exceed now 254 already, right? What do I do? So I can take one more subnet and I can just add secondary. So I can go up to now 254 more addresses here only. Got it? Okay. So it's like this. But beyond this, you can't have anything else, right? Okay. So now 254 plus 254 like that. Show interfaces up and up. Very good. This is Ethernet 0. This is the MAC address of the router's port. We don't have to do anything. This is the IP address and subnet mask that we have given, perhaps. And rest, maximum transmissible units, bandwidth. It's an old slide, right? So it's 10 Mbps one, right? It's in kbps. Delay, whatever is in usage coming from the factory default. Reliability is again some 255 object 255, some value 255 come from the factory only. We don't have to do anything. Load is some value again coming from the factory. Cisco calls Ethernet as ARPA and all the things we don't have to worry about, right? Last input 7. So this port on the router Ethernet port, something had come 7 seconds ago. output was 8 seconds. Something was sent out 8 seconds ago. Okay, don't worry, we don't have to do anything. Queuing strategy, FIFO. So any packet comes in on Ethernet 0 through the switch. That's first packet will be sent out first, right? We know this first in, first out. Or LIFO means last in, first out. In the queue, if there are 10 packets, 10th packet will be sent out first, right? In case it's LIFO. Anyway, don't bother about this. Okay, output queue. I can store when I receive packets from here. I can, okay, if it's coming from any other interface and I need to send out from my Ethernet port, I can store up to 40 packets in the buffer memory in case there's a congestion. Okay, but don't worry, we don't have to do anything. Right now, the 0 packets are held. Likewise, input queue. So when packets are coming through the switch on this Ethernet port, I can hold up to 75 packets. Right now, there are no packets. Last 5-minute input rate, nothing. 5-minute output, nothing. Okay. So it says actually no data has been sent out or received in the last 5 minutes, or the rate is 0 bits per second or whatever, right? Okay, and sorry, where am I? And it says so far these many packets have been received on this Ethernet 0, and it had these many bytes and all those things. And I have received those many broadcasts, and 0 runs and giants we have talked yesterday, right? Throttles, ignore it. Likewise, keep a check on these error things, right? So everything is not important, but all this is basically hardware issues, right? Or speed and duplex mismatch, right? Speed and duplex mismatches only, right? So make sure there is no mismatch between duplex and speed. So don't touch it, okay? Leave it on defaults. Now, interpreting the interface status. Show interface, whatever port is, right? Let's say it's gigabit 000. So up and up is good, right? Wonderful. Now it can send and receive data. So the first up before the comma refers to cable, which means physical layer. And the second up or down or whatever relates to protocol, right? Data link layer, keep alive, hello, hello, signaling. Okay. And it has to be up and up any port. Only then it's good. That means it's operational in technical terms, right? So data can be sent and received. If it is administratively down and down, this is also easy, right? That means it is disabled from the factory itself, or you only went and said shut down. Maybe it was enabled before and you don't want to use it, or from the factory only it has come disabled. Okay. So in the show IP interface brief, we'll see administratively down and down. I call it AD&D. Or otherwise, it will be up and down or down and down, right? These two things. So only one works, up and up, nothing else. But if it is up and down, technically it is known as connection problem. If it is down and down, it is technically known as interface problem. I don't know. I don't care about all this little bit tidbits. Where are we? Hmm. So just to make myself understand, maybe I took a screwdriver and broke this port. So it has become down. Physical is down, so data link signaling cannot come and go. Right? Hardware damage. And connection problem is up and down. Up and down, I told you. I went and said no shut, but actually there's no cable connected to another device. It's just hanging on the ground. So even if I say no shut, it will be up and down. Because though physical is up, I'm not getting any signal. Or maybe cable is connected, but this device is not powered up, right? Or it's powered up, but this interface is shut down. Got it? So factors like this. Okay. Down and down. Connection problem up and down, I told you. In the olden days, serial ports, one could have been HDLC. This should have also been HDLC. Then it would have been, both of them would have been up and up. But if somebody changes it to PPP or frame then both of them will be up and down, right? So anyway, communication will not happen. So we don't have serial ports today, but up and some IPs and subnet mask, and somebody has changed the bandwidth. Okay, so you can see the bandwidth. Somebody has changed it manually, right? Okay, because I know this was 1544 kbps by default, right? It's gone now. We don't have this serial ports, 60 pins, HDLC, right? All those things. Look, default encapsulation was HDLC. We don't have this only. Forget it. And this is also gone now. It's related to serial port only. I don't want to get into that. All gone obsolete, old technology. From the privilege exec mode, you can enter global configuration mode, giving you access to specific router configuration mode. We know this: line mode, router mode, controller mode, blah, blah, interface mode, sub-interface mode. Using the CLI, you will configure the router's name, passwords, and other console commands. A router's main function is what? It's just to forward packets or relay packets from one networking device to another. So you must define the characteristics of the interfaces through which the packets are sent and received. That means you have to go under the port of the router and say no shut, and you have to give an IP address and of course the subnet mask, right? Nothing else. Don't worry. In a TCP/IP environment, end stations communicate seamlessly with servers or other end stations. This communication occurs because each node using the TCP/IP protocol suite has a unique 32-bit logical IP address. Okay. A router's main function is to relay packets from one network device to another. So a router may receive packet from switch and may forward it to another switch, or may receive from switch and forward it to another router, or may receive from router and forward it to another switch or router, whatever, right? By dividing a network into smaller segments or subnets, you can make the network address use more efficient. There is no change in how the outside world sees the network, but within the organization, there is additional structure. Okay, all theory, man, don't worry. You know a network and subnet, right? How to make subnets. A subnet address is created by borrowing bits from the host field and designating them as the subnet field. Is this understood? You borrow bits only from the host portion, never from the network portion. Because class A network portion, first 8 bits are fixed. Class B, first 2 octets network portion fixed. Class C, first 3 octets. Sorry, whatever it is, 10 dot. Yeah, subnet mask, it will be like this, right? First octets are fixed. So if you want to borrow, you will borrow only from the host portion to create subnets, right? The number of bits borrowed is variable and specified by the subnet mask. In class C, there are maximum 8 bits only from which you can borrow bits. But class B, there are 16 bits, right? And you can borrow bits from them. Class A, you got 24 bits. You can borrow bits from them and convert them into subnet, right? Bits. Each interface on the Cisco router must have its own unique IP address to uniquely identified. Okay, that means any two interfaces of the router can never be in the same network or subnet. They have to be in different networks or different subnets. Okay. When you complete the router interface configuration, you verify it using show commands. Show interfaces or show interface, blah, blah. Okay. IP addressing clear, guys. 7th done. Yes. Dipti, Megha, Neeraj. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dipti, Neeraj. Megha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So we have spent a lot of time. We are spending a lot of time on every topic. In fact, nobody in the planet, on the planet, in the world will spend so much of time on any of the topics. They'll be fast, right? Anyway, I'm happy if you are catching it up and if it's going to help you. It is going to help you in your life and career and job, right? If you're new to networking. 110%. Okay. Have you finished this? Describe the characteristics of network topology architectures. ये हमने किया है कि नहीं? Have we done this?
Yes, we've done.
So can I strike it off? I will now. Okay. And what more? Configure and verify IP addressing and subnetting. Describe private. Have you done this? Kare uda do? Can I strike it off? We have done this. Yes or no? So I'll remove this also, right? IP addressing and subnetting. Okay, done. What what more? Okay, let's take up now. Let's take up CDP and LLDP. Is that okay? We have only 15 minutes left, man. CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol. And then later on, we'll talk about LLDP, Link Layer Discovery Protocol. Very easy topic, nothing to worry. Very simple. Configure and verify layer 2 discovery protocols, CDP and LLDP. Okay, CDP, LLDP, they come on data link layer, right? What this protocol does it? Let's talk of first CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol. It is a Cisco protocol. That means it works only on Cisco devices like routers and switches, right? Obviously, it won't work on non-Cisco devices. So, supposing we have a topology here, R1, and we have switch 1 connected to it. Let's presume all of them are Cisco. So if you go here and give a command, show CDP, what's the spelling of neighbor? Neighbor, not BOUR, right? This is the USOS slang. So it will tell you, okay, from my this port, maybe I have R1, who's the router, right? Whose hardware platform is maybe 2501, just an example, right? And his port is gigabit 000, and his iOS version is blah blah blah, right? Or 15 point blah or 16 point blah blah, right? So how are we connected? What that guy is, what that guy's IP address is, right? Whatever. So all this information I'll get here on the switch only about my neighbor. Got it? So how are we connected? What is he? Is he a router or a switch or a firewall or whatever, right? And what is his hardware platform? So capability router, hardware platform, iOS version, IP address, right? Something like this. It's going to, how are we connected? My this port, all these things. If you go and give a command show ISCDP neighbors, he will tell, okay, I got two neighbors. One is switch one and other is R2, right? Like this from this port and this port, right? And all these things. Okay. So without getting up from my chair, this CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol software protocol, it's going to enable me to draw a map of the whole topology, which means what? I am on switch one, right? Switch one, user mode, whatever. Without getting up from here, from my chair, I keep on giving command show CDP neighbor. So I come to know my neighbor is R1 and his IP address is this. So from here, I can tell it into R1. Yes. And now presumably connectivity is there. If I go on R1 and give a command show CDP neighbors, it tells me I got two neighbors. One is me only, switch one. One is R2. So what I can do is I can take a big chart and I can keep on drawing a map of the whole network. I am here. I am connected to R1. R1 is connected to R2. And then I can tell it into R2. And he says I got switch 2 as a neighbor and I got R3 as a neighbor. So I'll tell it here. He says perhaps I am connected to switch 4 also. And he, right, likewise, maybe R5, whatever. So then again, I'll come back here. You get my point. I can tell it here and he says, man, I got a switch neighbor and I got a router neighbor, right? So without getting up from my chair, I can keep on drawing a map of the whole topology. Got it? Provided all of them are Cisco. And CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol, is a layer 2 protocol and it is enabled by default, right? Not disabled. So you don't have to do anything. But if you want, supposing I am connected to the ISP and this is my LAN. So I don't want to give all this information to the ISP's device here. So what I can do is I can go under this port and disable CDP. Okay. If I want to disable CDP on my whole device, I'll go on the global mode and say no CDP run. Now it will not show me any of my neighbors. Got it? I disabled CDP globally. What is the command? No CDP run. If you want to enable CDP globally, you will go on the global mode and just say CDP run, right? So it will be enabled globally. But what if I just want to disable it on one port only, right? I want here it should work, here it should not work. So I will go under the port, this one, and say CDP enable. Sorry, I'll say no CDP enable, right? So it will stop. It sends CDP hello, hello every 60 seconds. And the hold down timer is 180 seconds, right? Which means if I don't get hello, hello, CDP hellos for for 180 seconds from my neighbor, I'll presume that my neighbor is dead, out of service, right? Mar gaya, whatever. Okay. So this is a very small, simple protocol. So let's say I'm on the switch here, right? Let's go and give this command. Show CDP neighbors. Enable. Show Cisco Discovery Protocol. Show CDP neighbors. So look, it says I got two neighbors. Show CDP neighbors. And we have a table here, right? And lot of columns here. Device ID, local interface, hold time, capability, platform, port ID. Oh, it's very simple. Okay, look at the topology again. I am a switch. On fast sequence 0/1, I am connected to router to R2, right? What's his port? Gigabit 000. From my second port, fast sequence 0/2, I am connected to another router. This guy's name is left. This guy's name is right. And both are routers. And this guy's interface is also gigabit 000. Check. Show CDP neighbors. From my first port, I am connected to left. And that guy is connected to me on his gigabit 000. On my second port, I am connected to a device known as whose name is right. And that guy is also connected on gigabit 000. And what is this left and right? The name could have been monkey and donkey. Look at the capability. R stands for that guy is a router. A stands for switch, right? Something like this. And so my interface, local interface, and that guy's, how are we connected? My this port and his this port. And that guy is a router. And what's that guy's uh, hardware platform? It is a ISR 4300 series router. Understood? This is show CDP neighbors. If you give a command show CDP neighbors detail, then show CDP neighbors detail, then one by one, it is giving you detail about one particular device, right? And then similarly, it will give details about left, right? What does the switch have to say? Look at left router, right? Top router. So what does it have to say in detail? Left router. One of my router neighbor is, his name is right, host name. That guy's IP address is 192.168.1.2. So we have given here 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.2, and 192.168.1.3, right? So this guy says details are like this. So I got show CDP neighbors detail. I got two neighbors. Right is 192.168.1.2. That guy is a router. That guy's hardware platform is ISR 4300. How are we connected? My second port and that guy's gigabit 000. Right? And this whole, if I don't receive hello from that guy for another this seconds, of course, this will keep on ticking, right? So I'll consider that one as dead. And what is the iOS version of that guy? It is 15.5, blah, blah, blah. Got it? So likewise, I got one more neighbor whose name is left. That guy's address is this. That guy is a router and his hardware platform. How are we connected? My first port and that guy is this port. and that guy's iOS version, blah, blah, blah. Yes, understood, right? Very simple, right? So this guy has got gigabit 00 connected to the switch and gigabit 1 connected to the router. So again, he will say, I got two neighbors. This is 10.1.1.1. This is 10.1.1.2, 20.1.1.1, 20.1.1.2, 192.168 1.1, 192.168 1.2, 192.168 1.3, right? So left router, enable, show CDP. Look, show CDP sends packets every 60 seconds by default, and the hold down timer is 180, right? Show CDP neighbors. We have seen this N tab. So left router says I got two neighbors, down below switch and above top router. Down below, I always take gigabit 000. My port and switches fast is oblique one port. Top, my gigabit 1 goes up, and that guy's gigabit 0 connects to me. That guy is a router, his platform. Down below is a switch. It's a 2960 series switch, right? Hold down timers, ports, and names of the address, right? Devices. So CDP neighbors, detail, we have seen that. Similarly, he'll give you detail about top router, and where's the switch? And the switch is here, right? Something like this. Okay. Show CDP, show CDP neighbors, show CDP neighbors detail, show CDP entry, entry. If I press enter, it says incomplete. Okay, up arrow. Entry, if you give this asterisk, I call it star, it will give you information about all neighbors. Or you have to just say one neighbor's name. So if you say asterisk, so left router has got two neighbors. One is top router and one is bottom switch, right? Show CDP entry star. Down below switch from my gigabit 000, and from my gigabit 1 port is the above router whose name is top. Okay. But if you want to say, find out about only just one neighbor, you can say top, right? So it will only give you information about just one neighbor. Okay. Show CDP entry we have done, entry star we have done, neighbors we have done, show CDP we have done. Only left is interfaces, right? Interface. I can stop here. So it says show CDP interface means, okay, it's VLAN one is, okay, this is down and down. Anyway, it's just giving you some output. It basically tells you, I got this port and CDP is enabled on all these ports, right? And timers are same everywhere, right? Hello, 60 and hold 180. Okay, now look, this is left router, right? Supposing I don't, this is the ISP, I don't want, it's a non-Cisco router. I don't want to send on my gigabit 1 port. So first of all, if I want to disable CDP from the global mode, I'll go to the global mode and say no CDP run. Now look, if I say do show CDP neighbors, it says CDP is not enabled. So I'll go and say CDP run. Got it? And now if I say do show CDP neighbors, it is not showing me anything. Why? Because we'll have to wait up to 60 seconds for that other guys to send us hello, hello. Now it is showing. But if I just want to disable on my gigabit 1 port, I'll go under the port and say no CDP enable. So from the above port, it will stop showing me router. Getting the point? Do show CDP neighbor. It will stop showing me the router. It will stop showing me this top router after the expiry of this time, right? After the expiry of this much time. So we'll have to wait. See, it's going down, down, down. So we'll have to wait for a long time. Okay. and then you'll see only one. Yes, guys, time is almost up. Understood? So still 2 more minutes, and one will go away. This will. Why? Because I went under the first port and I have said no CDP enable. This is going up to top router and this is coming down to the switch, right? I have disabled here on gigabit 1. So it should stop showing me sending hello there. So no more neighbor. Only one it will show. Yes, guys, CDP understood. Let's check.
Sir, just one question. Like
Yeah.
when we disable the CDP, do it takes time to disable it or is it instant?
See, it is not, I have disabled it from this port, but it is waiting for the hold down timer to expire. Only after that it will stop showing you this. So it doesn't
Okay.
disable it. From the global mode, if you disable it, it will disable immediately, right? Isn't it?
Okay.
But here it's going to take some time. So from if I go and disable on the global mode, it will immediately stop showing the neighbors, right? Show CDP neighbors. Now it's showing you both, right? Correct? But if you go on the global mode and say no CDP, look at this, only one choice, run. And now do show CDP neighbors. So no more neighbors, right? It says band ho gaya bhai, CDP disabled. Got it? But there it will take time. Now I hope it will only show one output. I mean one side. So look, still 12 seconds left, right? So after 8 seconds left. So after the expiry of that, it will stop showing you top router and start showing you only switch. See this, gone, router is gone, only switch remains, right? Understood CDP?
Yes.
Good. So we can stop here today and continue tomorrow with LLDP and further more interesting topics we are going to keep on coming now. Nothing to be bored. Megha, Dipti, Neeraj, अभी बोर तो नहीं हो रहे हो? Not feeling bored now? Or still feeling very bored?
सर पैकेट ट्रेसर से थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग रहता है वो जो स्लाइड था उससे थ्योरेटिकल काफी
Packet tracer is interesting, right?
राइट
Obviously, theory can be boring, but now we are getting into more practicals. Now, tomorrow I can take up DHCP lab. So no theory, right? And more of practical. Of course, concept to explain it will take me 1 or 2 or 5 minutes, right? Theoretical. And then we'll get into the lab. So bore kahan honge? Then where will you be bored? You won't be bored. You'll be doing the lab, isn't it? So we have so many labs coming up. So many. So now that we have done IP addressing, we know how to give IP address statically to the PC and switch. But now, tomorrow we can take up DHCP lab. So we'll see that how DHCP server automatically assigns IP address to the switch and the PC and maybe all the PCs. Is that okay? So then you'll have to be doing the labs like this. ठीक है? Okay.
ठीक है
Chalo, great. Then see you tomorrow. Any doubts, ask. Otherwise, bye bye. Have a nice time. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.
गुड नाइट